Hey everyone, welcome to the 10th episode of Get to Know XYZ. Now you know this is getting serious as we're officially entering the double-digit zone. Happy New Year to anyone who celebrates. My New Year's resolution is to push myself out of my comfort zone even more than last year and to spend more time outside. Especially right now, like the weather in Slovakia is so nice. Snow is genuinely one of my favorite things in the world, so this kind of weather really reminded me how much I miss going outside. I feel like these goals are still pretty realistic enough for me to actually incorporate into my life over the next 12 months. I hope your resolutions are at least somewhat realistic too, because otherwise you're kind of setting yourself up from the start, and that's not something we should be dragging into 2026. There's this trend on Instagram about how 2026 is the new 2016, where people are uploading photos of what they looked like back then. I was 12 at the time. I had just created my first Instagram and Snapchat account. I played a lot of Temple Run and spammed my siblings on Google Hangouts, which doesn't even exist anymore. I feel really old right now. And if I remember correctly, that's also when I started getting obsessed with One Direction. Unfortunately, they went on hiatus literally in January that year, so I was a bit too young and a bit too late to fully hop on that train, but that didn't stop me, and I'm still in love with their music to this day. And I'm mentioning this on purpose because today we're going to talk about a singer who also loves One Direction and is heavily inspired by them, which means we're going back to pop and pop rock vibes, one of my favorites, as I introduce you to Connor Austin. Connor Austin is from Durban, South Africa. A fun fact about Durban is that it was the first city in the southern hemisphere to install electrified streetlights back in 1892, so definitely ahead of its time. Now, Connor doesn't have a lot of personal information out there on the internet, but based on an article by Sydney Walker and Church News from October 2022, he was 23 years old at the time, which makes him at least 26-year-old at the moment. On his SoundCloud, he has two songs. One is called Eyes.
What you do to me when I stare in your eye.
Uploaded in June 2016, and the other is called Thinking About You.
Cause you know I can't stop thinking about you. Thinking about
Uploaded in June 2018. But it looks like this was something like his pre-debut era, as he never uploaded these songs on any other platforms. In 2023, he wrote and performed a song called He'll Be There. For Strive to Be, a Christian youth-focused music project that collaborates with artists on faith-based songs. He also performed the song at a youth concert in 2024 and sang additional gospel tracks for Strive to Be, including Truth and His Work. He also co-wrote singles for Strive to Be at the end of 2025, so it looks like he still works with them while also focusing on his solid music career. Some of Connor's early work from 2019, songs like Fragile, Human, Anonymous, or Lost and Found, is listed on lyric sites like Genius but isn't available on any music platforms. I tried to find these tracks, but it looks like he may have taken them down. Still, it really shows how much he's evolved from those very early indie releases to the more polished singles he's putting out now. He also co-produced songs for the female singer Isabel or Isabel. I'm not sure, I couldn't find the pronunciation. It's Isabel with a Y, so I don't know. In 2023 and 2024. Another pretty random but cool collaboration of his happened in 2023 as well. There's a sci-fi musical audiobook called The Paradise Planets, The Fallen from Paradise, which features original songs woven directly into the story. One of those songs, All the Day Long, includes Connor Austin as one of the performing artists. In 2024, Connor released several amazing singles. Practically his debut single and still his most popular song to date is Someone I Don't Know.
So you don't even know who I am. Damn. I'd flip the world on its back. Want my name to be last. Well, you know it. I wanna fall in love with someone I don't know. She can wake up in my bed wearing my clothes.
Which came out in June 2024. Connor promotes the song a lot on his social media, often by referencing One Direction or 5 Seconds of Summer in his videos. He said he's greatly influenced by those two boy bands, along with the Jonas Brothers and Maroon 5. It almost feels like he's trying to make a boy band style songs as a solo artist, if that makes sense. To me, his sound is actually quite similar to Nox, a singer I covered in episode 2 of this podcast, though that might just be the pop rock vibe they both lean into. In August of the same year, Connor released a song called Heaven. first words of the chorus are, "Hey, you must be an angel," and that line seems to have become a bit of a thing with his fans, who sometimes refer to themselves as the Angel Army. Connor even has that line in his bio on both Instagram and TikTok. In October 2024, he released 2 singles, one of them being Good Things Never Stay, which is actually the song I discovered him through.
I didn't think you could, I'm not to blame. The sad truth is a stupid story. Good things never stay. Write down what you hate about.
Again, thanking my YouTube music algorithm for this one. I really love when artists shift the perspective halfway through a song, and that's exactly what Connor does here. In the first verse, he sings as if he's the one trying to make the other person stay in the relationship, but no matter what he does, they leave anyway. Then in the second verse, he flips the story, singing,
I know that you're just being honest, but there are certain things we can't explain. How you gave me everything I wanted, but nothing that you did can make me stay.
After hearing this song, I was like, damn, this is right up my alley. I need to check out his other songs. And I wasn't disappointed at all. Literally, there isn't a single song of his that I dislike. I love when that happens. Before I forget, there is another song he dropped in October 2024, and that is a song called Myself Again.
Mom always said there's a timeline from shedding tears to shedding things I can't forget.
Here he sings about the pain of losing someone close and the struggle to feel like himself again, reflecting the deep emotional impact of that absence. Overall, a super sad song with upbeat tempo, which is the perfect candidate for a singing session in a car or a shower or wherever you can sing at the top of your lungs. Moving on to 2025, or more specifically April 2025, Connor released his debut EP called Sky Blue Baby Boy. This EP has 5 tracks, including his most popular single I have already mentioned, Someone I Don't Know, but there's also Like You.
Head up in the clouds, treated like a vice. I'm falling from the high, 'cause I lost myself just trying to remember 24 years old. So how do I forget the way it felt just being alone in life with you?
Where Connor sings about how the person still haunts his life with belongings left behind and memories replaying in his mind. He's trying to move on while he's still longing for someone like that person. Santorini Sunset is a really good one, also from this EP.
We speak in tongues, yeah, we talk too much. So hit the lights, doing double dutch. You're my Santorini sunset.
Here he compares a special someone to a perfect sunset in Santorini, a lovely Greek island, and practically saying that being with them can feel like paradise. Beautiful, warm, and unforgettable, even in simple moments. And the last song I want to mention from this EP is Go.
I'm living a life for just to throw it all away, yeah. Away, yeah. While you've been running around my head.
This track is really interesting because it sounds completely different from all his other songs in the best way possible. It has these darker undertones that really match the lyric, where he sings about not being able to let someone go and feeling torn between desire and self-preservation. The love he describes feels both consuming and suffocating at the same time. Connor is very active on social media, especially on TikTok and Instagram, where he regularly posts updates about his music and promotes his songs by referencing artists who inspire him. Unfortunately, in August 2025, Instagram deleted his account for allegedly violating their guidelines, even though he was simply promoting his music. As a result, he had to create a new account and lost his 20,000 followers in the process. He's now back at just over 1,000 followers, which must have been really discouraging, and I genuinely hope his fanbase continues to grow again very soon. Still in 2025, but now moving to the era after his debut EP, Connor released 2 singles. In September, he dropped Kissed Her Again,
This bar don't close till she gets what she wants. She said, follow my lead, 'cause this lipstick stain could ruin your night.
which he promoted heavily on TikTok, and very deservedly so. As he says on social media, it has a total boy band vibe, singing about a late night encounter with a girl with strawberry lips and the memory he keeps replaying in his head. Honestly, it really fits perfectly on a girls' night playlist. Approved. I also want to mention that he very proudly references different artists and their songs in his tracks. For example, in Someone I Don't Know, he nods to One Direction and their song What Makes You Beautiful.
She plays One Direction on the radio. It goes, yeah, you don't know what makes you beautiful.
In Kissed Her Again, he mentions Moves Like Jagger, referencing Maroon 5.
She moves like Jagger, the way that she works.
In Shirt, he references Madonna and Nirvana.
Was it Malone or Nirvana? Material girl like Madonna.
and in Chicago, Post Malone and Whitney Houston.
I've been listening to too much Post Malone, cause I've been feeling all but Whitney since I left.
He has more of these Easter eggs hidden in other tracks as well, mainly One Direction song titles. It's a really nice touch that makes you pay even closer attention to the lyric as you listen for more names or song titles you might recognize. And now for the last song in Connor Austin's discography, She Can't Be Friends.
And now she's talking to her friends about some things I never said. It's either love or it's regret. She can't be friends. She's a vintage all-American. There's no lose.
Released in December 2025, so still pretty recent. I honestly don't know how he does this, but so many of his songs feel like a sunset. Like you're running through a field of flowers and looking at the sunset ahead of you. Like, never done this in real life, but I feel like I have when I hear this song. I really love how the verses build tension and then the song speeds up and kind of like explodes in the chorus. Amazing. And that's all for this episode. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped any pop rock fans discover some new songs to add to their playlists, because I sure did. To support Connor Austin, check him out on Instagram and TikTok, especially Instagram as he's, building his following there again from scratch. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast to stay updated on new episodes and discover more great music. I look forward to sharing the next episode with you soon. Until then, take care and keep enjoying the music. Bye!